Then I have often beaten up myself कि यार मेरे से इतना छोटा सा काम क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, why am I procrastinating, इतना टाइम क्यों लग रहा है इतना छोटा सा काम करने के लिए.
It is found that 80% of the autoimmune cases are in women, which is very strange. What is the average time it takes for a woman with an autoimmune disease to receive a correct diagnosis?
100 years. नई चीज़ें आती तो है मार्केट में that you should do this, you should have cold exposure, you should do intermittent fasting. कितना ज़्यादा वो applicable है एक आदमी के ऊपर और एक फीमेल के ऊपर.
So there are many things which affect us more or differently, which the medical community has been totally blind to. There are 5 times more study on erectile dysfunction than on PMS. How women have been excluded in the medical studies and conventional medicine. क्योंकि I think आधी चीज़ें तो diagnose ही नहीं होती थी अब तक. Diagnose होती है तो भी we don't know the treatment for women because women have not been included in the studies for treatment.
Women are more sensitive hormonally
Correct.
than men. तो ये conditions it's bound to happen.
मेरा period pain पूरा चला गया. It's been almost 7 years I have not taken any painkiller.
Like women shouldn't skip breakfast.
Welcome to the Nari Rasa podcast. I'm Richa.
I'm Namrata.
And this is a podcast where we have conversations that women are missing. नम्रता, तुम्हें कभी पीरियड पेन या PMS होता है?
सबको होता है रिचा. Yes, मुझे भी होता है. So I do remember right before my periods, I have very painful breasts. And मुझे ज़्यादा physically नहीं but mentally affect करता है. Like confusion होता है, focus बहुत कम रहता है. I have to try really hard to get a task done. So I have more of those kind of symptoms, PMS.
Right. So which brings us to our podcast episode topic, normalization of pain for women. It's all in your head. And also how women have been excluded in the medical studies and conventional medicine. So मुझे PMS इतना नहीं but period pain बहुत होता था. Okay, for like a good 10-12 years I used to pop painkillers, 2-3 painkillers every month.
Okay.
And when I got my period at puberty, my mom was like कि I know बेटा मुझे भी होता है, नानी को भी होता था, but at least now we have painkillers, you take these painkillers. And I never even thought कि this is something that could be avoided because it is so normalized. Period pain is very normalized. And until I became an adult, transitioned into a nutritionist, I understood कि dairy छोड़ के और कुछ और lifestyle changes करके मेरा period pain पूरा चला गया. It's been almost 7 years I have not taken any painkillers.
That's great.
There's some mild discomfort, but that's about it. So, you know, a lot of women go through pain thinking that it's normal and it's even expected.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't remember taking any painkillers as such क्योंकि मुझे उतना physical pain नहीं हुआ. But I've seen my friends, they pop pill right before their periods in anticipation of कितना pain होने वाला है उनको.
Right.
So it's also that maybe they don't know and maybe they've been doing this for the longest time, so they think कि यही एक रास्ता है to, you know, to minimize the pain sort of.
Correct.
And to make it bearable, make the period hell bearable kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what really ticks me off is a lot of it is unnecessary. Many of the cases, like women just don't know कि ऐसा करने से period pain या PMS कम हो सकता है. दूसरी चीज, I think even the medical fraternity and researchers have not given enough importance to women's pain.
Okay, how so?
Like, do you know that there are 5 times more study on erectile dysfunction than on PMS?
Of course. Why is it not surprising?
Right. So, and erectile dysfunction affects hardly 10 to 20% of men. Okay. And PMS is something that is affecting 90% of women. मतलब 100 में से 90 औरतों को वो problem हो रहा है. But it is less research. Like if there are 500 studies on erectile dysfunction, there are hardly 100 studies on women's PMS.
Of course, because when women are on PMS, they're just assuming ये सब उनके दिमाग में है, and they are just crazy. It's that time of the month. But for men, if they can't get a hard on, it's like a big problem. It's the world's problem, right?
Yeah, right.
So yeah, not going too hard on them, but it is what it is. And when I went to the doctor taking my case of how I'm having painful breasts, they said it's normal. सबको होता है. Get on with it.
Right.
ज़्यादा मत सोचो. It's all
Right.
in your head. So
Right.
yeah, I'm glad that we are discussing this today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of women are crazy, do you know the word hysteria itself is linked to hystera, which is actually Greek word for womb.
Wow.
Okay, so hysteria is traditionally or historically linked with the womb, or reinforcing the thing that women are crazy.
Okay.
And a lot of conditions which have been recently recognized as illnesses or chronic illnesses were thought of as hysteria in women's mind even 50 years ago.
Okay.
Like endometriosis. ठीक है, एंडोमेट्रियोसिस इज अ वेरी पेनफुल कंडीशन जिसमें आपका जो यूट्रस का लाइनिंग है वो यूट्रस के बाहर ग्रो होने लगता है. कॉजेज इमेंस पेन एंड अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स इट रिक्वायर्स सर्जरी ऑल्सो. Okay, but it has only been recently discovered and now being treated as a illness.
Okay.
And a surgery to be done.
Okay.
Before
पहली
that,
बार आई थिंक मैंने तुमसे ही सुना था endometriosis के बारे में.
Right.
And I never knew about it.
Right.
But it is such a serious medical
it's
condition.
serious. And before that, like 50 years ago, if you go, they wouldn't treat it. They would just say it's just take the painkillers. Too bad for you.
Or you're being hysterical.
You're being hysterical, or you are having unusually high amounts of pain. Too bad for you. So there are many such conditions. Chronic fatigue syndrome. Okay, where women feel immensely fatigued.
Okay.
Those women would just be termed as lazy before, but now it's being treated.
Okay.
Irritable bowel syndrome, to do with your digestion, is something that women are more likely to have.
Okay.
Because we have a longer intestines and the digestive tract.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
Yeah, so there are many things which affect us more or differently, which the medical community has been totally blind to.
Okay.
And then mental issues, depression जैसे हो गया, all of these things, they were just termed as a bad temperament or bad mood, especially for women, even if men go with the same symptoms. So it reminds me, there was a study done where men presented their pain symptoms and women also presented their pain symptoms, but men were more likely to be prescribed a painkiller, whereas women were given anxiety and antidepressant drugs more.
Okay. So for men it was more like physical pain was recognized.
Yes.
It was more recognizable and
Yes.
identifiable.
Right.
But for women, it was more
Yes.
about how they are feeling,
Correct.
or had to do more with the emotional state.
Emotional side, yeah. It was recognized in men कि अच्छा भाई दर्द हो रहा है, बोल रहा है तो हो रहा होगा.
Okay.
But women के लिए they are like I don't know.
Okay.
Because your reports show normal, so I don't know.
Oh, yeah. That's so. There has been so much medical negligence.
Even women who used to practice naturopath or herbal medicine, women who had higher sexual desires, women who were single or did not want to have kids were termed as witches.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. They've been burning at the stake forever.
Yeah.
And at the stake of medical negligence.
Yes.
So,
True.
yeah.
You know, I want to talk about autoimmunity
Okay.
in women. Autoimmunity is any condition where your immune system is attacking your own body. Okay, and there are many common conditions which we don't know, but they are actually autoimmune. जैसे कि thyroid condition हो गया, rheumatoid arthritis हो गया. This is all a condition where your body is attacking itself.
Okay.
So these kind of conditions, there are more than 100 autoimmune diseases now, like lupus, multiple sclerosis, बहुत सारे हैं. So it is found that 80% of the autoimmune cases are in women, which is very strange. Like there is not a category of illness which is so much skewed towards women. And
Why it is so?
yeah, that is the question I want to address and talk about. What do you know? Like, do you have any theory कि क्यों ऐसा होता होगा?
I don't have theories as such, but while I was growing up studying in biology and even reading recent research because I was also concerned about my health, I came across this very interesting thing that we have the extra X chromosome.
Right. Men have XY chromosome and women have XX chromosome.
XX chromosome. So
Right.
this XX chromosome, so one X chromosome is supposed to pack a lot more genetic information than
Yeah,
the
the other one.
XY that men have.
Right.
So and women have double of that, right? So that's why when we are exposed to any kind of environmental stressors or general stressors, pregnancy, for example,
Right.
our bodies are, those genes are expressing a lot more.
Right. Right.
So I'm not like a doctor or anything, but I read these research somewhere, and
Yeah.
I think that was the factor that stayed with me.
Right.
It's because of that.
Right.
It's a genetic thing.
Yeah, that's I think a recent study where they say that X chromosome में एक antibody produce होता है which is connected to your immune system. It's a big reaction, but basically that, and yeah, pregnancy, you're right. Pregnancy is a big event in a women's physiology. Like a lot of changes happen at that time, and many of the conditions like thyroid, multiple sclerosis वो actually बढ़ जाता है pregnancy के बाद.
Okay.
Like when a woman goes through the pregnancy. So pregnancy is one reason why even female mortality was more before. Before medical science
Yeah.
advanced, a lot of women would die in the process
Giving
of
birth. Yeah.
childbirth.
Yeah.
That itself. Right. And you know, I also think कि is there anything about the structure of the society जिसकी वजह से women में autoimmune ज़्यादा है? Because if you think about it, autoimmune क्या है? मतलब अंदर ही एक लड़ाई चल रही है. Your immune system is attacking yourself.
Yeah.
So, is it that women are not feeling safe enough, or the environment is not conducive to how a woman should live? इसकी वजह से women में ज़्यादा हो रहा है.
Okay. So before societal factors, I would like to also just mention, whenever I went to a doctor, they, with any sort of problem, they said it was hormonal.
हाँ.
Because in general, हमारे hormones इतने fluctuate होते हैं throughout the month and throughout the year also. It's not like this year is going to be the same as next year hormonally.
Right.
Right. Then coupling that with social factors and the environmental stressors that we have, everything has chemicals, no?
Right.
Everything is being absorbed by our skin.
Right.
The food that we eat, everything
Correct.
is affecting our hormones.
Correct.
And क्योंकि women are more sensitive hormonally
Correct.
than men, तो ये conditions, it's bound to happen.
Right. Right.
Societal factors के बारे में बात करें, so more of the responsibility, household responsibility जो है,
Right.
women are seen as primary caregivers.
Right.
And most of the responsibility is for them to cook, to take care. Like these days, things are changing, but still the
yeah.
primary ownership of taking care of everything in the
Yeah.
house has to be with the woman.
Yeah.
And now women are going out and working also.
Exactly.
And then they have to do the ghar ka kaam
Ghar ka-
also.
Right.
And especially if they have kids and if
Yeah.
they are living in a joint family, not a nuclear family situation,
Right.
then it is multifold, the amount of stress that they have to bear.
Absolutely. Things are changing, but maybe they're changing for the worse, at least when it comes to the health. क्योंकि पहले like our grandmom generation, they were just at home, तो वही that taking care of the home was one thing. Now an added responsibility has come, and I would say the whole work environment is not conducive to how a woman works.
The 9 to 5.
Yeah, and the culture, MNC
Okay.
culture भी बोल लो कि उसमें स्ट्रेस बहुत ज़्यादा है, कॉम्पिटिटिवनेस बहुत ज़्यादा है. A woman is made to bring out her own masculine traits like competitiveness, aggression, aggressiveness. Whereas I feel women are more meant to collaborate, nurture. So all of these traits are falling behind, whereas all of the other traits which are really competitive and a stress for a woman, they are exercised more.
Yeah. Also, you have to work at the same level as men throughout the month.
Throughout the month.
Like in my luteal phase, say bye to whatever logical thinking that needs to come. It's not that it's the same for everyone, but at least for me, if I have to do very brain intensive work, probably my luteal phases or my
Yeah.
periods are not the best times.
Right.
But after that, in my follicular phase,
Yeah.
I'm
So-
all up for it.
Right.
I in fact take up more work that is
Yeah.
that requires a lot of mental
So
capacity.
just a
Yeah.
brief on the follicular and luteal phase, because many women don't know that as well.
Yeah.
कि your hormones fluctuate throughout the month. Okay, so during your period time आपका energy कम रहता है. आप periods खत्म होने के बाद slowly your energy and hormones rise, where you can take up more work. And again, before your periods, 1 or 2 weeks before your periods, it's called the luteal phase, where your hormones drop, your energy drops. So all of this cycle is absolutely not taken into consideration when you're working.
Yeah, and then I have often beaten up myself कि यार मेरे से इतना छोटा सा काम क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, why am I procrastinating, इतना टाइम क्यों लग रहा है इतना छोटा सा काम करने के
Right,
लिए.
right.
So there is a lot of emotional badgering also
Right.
that happens.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's all of these things I think add up, and maybe that's why autoimmunity is higher in women.
Yeah.
But I would also like to draw on a few studies or medical negligence that has happened for women, क्योंकि आई थिंक आधी चीज़ें तो डायग्नोस ही नहीं होती थी अब तक. डायग्नोस होती है तो भी वी डोंट नो द ट्रीटमेंट फॉर वुमेन, बिकॉज women have not been included in the studies for treatment. Like I'll give you some examples about diagnosis. ठीक है, चलो हार्ट अटैक जैसी सिंपल चीज बोल लो. What do you think are the symptom of a heart attack?
Pain in the left shoulder.
Right, correct.
Yeah, that's about
Now what? Yeah, that has been mainly researched in men. And yes, आप मूवी में भी देखते होगे ऐसे छाती पकड़ के गिर जाते हैं, men women both. But they found in women these are not the typical symptoms that a woman has in heart attack.
Okay.
What she has is fatigue, chest pain, and nausea. And there's a higher chance कि angiogram जिससे हार्ट अटैक की probability हम measure करते हैं वो normal आएगा, but that does not rule out heart attack for a woman.
Okay.
So imagine if a woman is having heart attack, she will not be having any chest pain. She's maybe just lying down on the couch, fatigue, उल्टी जैसा आ रहा है, which is not even connected to heart attack in our mind at least.
Yeah, or in the general
And
sense.
even in the doctor's mind for a few years before.
Okay.
So a lot of misdiagnosis happened even for heart attack for women.
I think this general education or awareness about these symptoms are not, they're non-existent.
Yeah, but this is not about awareness.
Then?
This is even doctors' misdiagnosis.
Okay.
Because women were not included in the studies for symptoms of heart attack.
I'm just wondering how many such studies are women not included? Women have been left out.
A lot many. Because until 1993 in USA, it was not mandatory to have women in the studies. So the researchers excluded them क्योंकि pregnancy is one thing. What if a woman is pregnant when they are testing a drug? Genuine reasons. Secondly, researchers and scientists don't want that hormonal fluctuation throughout the month. They are testing something. Right? So that just becomes another variable that they don't want to include about. Men are pretty straightforward hormone wise कि भाई रोज का fluctuation तो नहीं होगा. So they can throughout the 30-day study they can test it.
Okay.
Only in 1993, they have mandated in USA at least to include women in the studies.
Wow.
But still, a lot of studies are not gender specified. The results they are not gender specific. Women को include तो कर लिया और end में result दोनों का मिला के दे दिया. It's not segregated gender wise.
Okay. So all the medicines, all the tests, all the diagnoses are catered mostly for the male body.
Yes.
Biology.
Yes. Namrata, ADHD is another thing.
Okay.
The way ADHD is diagnosed in men or small boys is very different from how it is, how the symptoms are for girls. Like for small boys, ADHD shows as hyperactivity,
Okay.
right? But for women, it is more introvertedness. It is like opposite, right?
Like what? Example?
Like for boys, small boys, they'll be just running around,
Okay.
maybe, spilling over things and having shorter attention spans. अभी ये करे दूसरे मोमेंट में वो कर देंगे. That's how ADHD is typically diagnosed. But this study and these symptoms were based on small boys, young boys.
Okay.
But for girls, they will tend to be more introverted. Maybe she'll sit in a corner and be more scattered. Like in terms of organizing her things, where she kept her keys. So it's not that visible. Like a small boy running around is very visible. But for a small girl who's having ADHD, she might be sitting in the corner, or she will misplace things, or she'll not be able to organize time in her head.
Is it also like fixating on one thing over and over again? Or not
That's
fix?
OCD.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, but the point being कि the symptoms are polar opposite. So imagine if a doctor does not know because study में girls को include ही नहीं किया, तो ये symptoms totally miss out हो जाएंगे and the girls will not be diagnosed. So diagnosis में ही problem है. Half of the things like endometriosis was also missed for so many years. So वहीं से problem शुरू होता है.
Everything is so different.
Everything is different, you know, the way we burn fat and carbohydrates is also very different for women. Like for men who are having diabetes, it is recommended to do HIIT, high intensity interval workout
Training, yeah.
intense workout, because उससे तुम्हारा carb load कम हो जाता है, blood sugar कम हो जाता है. But it is shown that for women, HIIT doesn't help in diabetes.
Okay.
Because we burn more fat than carbs.
Okay. My partner has been like troubling me, come to gym with me and we'll take care of whatever weight gain you're having.
Right.
And I really didn't, I was not the most inclined to go to a gym because I'm more into yoga or slow exercises, walking and stuff. So it never worked out for me. I tried, it's not like I haven't tried. So,
Yeah, that happens like the way we are supposed to exercise, the way we are supposed to eat is very different for a woman.
okay.
Like for me, I can't do the same form of exercise throughout the month.
Yeah.
तुम कैसे पीरियड से एक दो हफ्ते पहले इतना एनर्जी डाउन होता है, तुम कैसे HIIT करोगे? And there are women who do it.
There are.
They increase the stress in their body.
Yeah, I have heard. I was hearing about a fitness instructor saying that क्योंकि हमारा estrogen drop होता है in the luteal phase.
Yes.
Something that helps with muscle repair. So you should lift more weights in the luteal phase. I don't know. There's a lot of misinformation, and maybe it worked for her. But with that point, I want to talk about how more cold exposure has been said to increase your metabolism or result in more growth, human growth cells. And I was just wondering whether it works the same for women, because I'm sure cold exposure would work for men, but there are days when I don't want to take a cold shower, where I have to take a hot shower. And then there was this Huberman podcast I was listening, and a doctor, she was commenting about female health, and she said women should take more saunas, and women need the warmth for their metabolism and for all the hormones to work properly according to the cycles. So then, yeah, नई चीज़ें आती तो है मार्केट में that you should do this, you should have cold exposure, you should do intermittent fasting. Fasting is such a stressful thing for a woman's body. So I don't know. People are saying a lot of things. Fitness instructors are saying a lot of things कि हमें ये follow करना चाहिए.
Right.
But कितना ज़्यादा वो applicable है एक आदमी के ऊपर और एक female के ऊपर. So
Absolutely. A lot of research on intermittent fasting was with men, and now it is being shown in research that it's not the best way for a woman to lose weight, especially for prolonged period of times.
like women shouldn't skip breakfast.
Yeah.
The first thing that my doctor said the other day, why are you skipping breakfast? I went with her with certain symptoms and she was like, do you have breakfast? I was like, no. I was trying the intermittent fasting thing, like you should start having breakfast. And I saw the changes.
Yeah.
When I started having breakfast, I had better energy because my energy used to like peak and then drop.
Acha.
And I would even need coffee. I'm off coffee for like many years now, but I would need a beverage or something, chocolate. So I started craving. I was having more cravings then. Now I have lesser cravings.
Right. And see, biologically, it also makes sense now because a woman's body is meant to nurture a child. So we are always in a state where we should have enough fat storage or enough energy in case we get pregnant. So men don't have to do that. They can survive on a day-to-day basis maybe, or they don't have another life to grow inside of them. तो ये सब चीज़ें I think बहुत matter करती है. And बहुत ज़्यादा differences is so how we metabolize fat, carbs and all of that. How we metabolize vaccines.
Okay.
Okay, so it is said that women have adverse effects of vaccination more. Like in more number of cases, vaccination के adverse effect women में होते हैं. I think you also had an episode with vaccination in Finland, right?
Yeah. Yes, now I recall. I took this tetanus vaccination, and it was a diphtheria, and it had like a wide coverage, that vaccine. And the very next day I was in a meeting, and in the middle of the meeting I started shivering. I was having uh, like a very high fever, and I had to go home, and my whole left arm was paining, my head was aching, and the pain wouldn't go down. Eventually went to the doctor, and they said that it's side effect of taking the vaccination. Not everyone gets it, but I got it.
Yeah, so according to this study, more women get it.
Okay.
So how we metabolize the vaccination is different. How
Okay.
we metabolize medication is also different.
Okay. Like any medication? Paracetamol?
Many medication. I am particular example. I think there's a one called Ambien, which is a sleep medication.
Okay.
Okay, so what they found out was men take the sleep medication, लेते सो जाते सुबह उठ के they are fresh. But for women, they found out that the women are feeling more drowsier. They are having trouble driving after taking that medication. Why? Because women metabolize that medication at half the rate. So whereas a man would take it and he would metabolize or break it down within a night, the women will see that next morning that process is still going on.
It kicks in later.
It kicks in later
Okay.
and slower, and
Okay.
yeah, for a longer period of time. So then they realize that the dosage for the women has to be half than for the men.
Okay.
So imagine how many such medications are there, because a lot of medications don't work on women also. And then again they are told that no, everything is normal for you, and it's all in your head.
Classic.
Right. So have you had any cases with autoimmunity? Because I have a story. I'm gonna ask yours and then tell mine.
So during COVID, of course, everyone was stressed. There was a lot going on, and there was a lot of misinformation. But I was staying alone for the longest time, cut off from the world like everyone else was. But I was staying alone, and I have never stayed alone. So it was quite a stressful period for me, and I was not sleeping nights. So doing this for a long period of time, it resulted in me getting fatty liver. Like, I don't drink, so I got a non-alcoholic fatty liver, and then I was having irregular heartbeats and more things like that. And I gained a lot of weight. There was PCOD. there were a lot of things. There was a lot going on, and then so a lot of it, my doctor said that it was autoimmunity.
Acha.
Like, these conditions were like a symptom of an underlying autoimmune condition.
So did you get diagnosed with something particular or just general?
No, just like a general diagnosis that I was autoimmune, and I was having a lot of allergies because if I was eating something, milk, gluten, any random food, oil, I was immediately having rashes all over my body. So yeah, there was a lot going on, and bola ki ye sab stress induced hai, and yeah, that was my story. Then I did a lot of lifestyle changes. I met our guru, like a common guru, and then he guided me towards lifestyle changes, working out. That's when I learned the importance of actually working out and doing lifestyle changes. So that really helped me. I changed a lot of my food. I went vegan. Yeah, there are a lot of things that I tried back then.
But right now you're not vegan.
Right now I'm not, and I don't have those issues anymore. PCOD is still there, but a lot of it is not there anymore, and I'm not autoimmune anymore.
Right. So like it's under control. You're
At least that's what the doctors say. Richa, I don't know.
If you have had any experience with autoimmune diseases, pause this video and comment it below. We'd like to talk about it. Yeah, so even I have had an experience of autoimmune. हुआ नहीं था मुझे, पर हो सकता था. So because I was into a health startup and all, I basically did my blood test, and in that I did my thyroid antibody test. Okay, now this is something anyone who has thyroid, they should get a thyroid antibody test. It tells you what is the level of autoimmunity or immune system attack on your thyroid. तो मुझे कोई सिम्टम नहीं था थायराइड का, मैंने तो ऐसे ही करा लिया. But in that I got the result that my antibodies were 1200. It is supposed to be below 300.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 1200 is something that even thyroid patients don't have.
Wow, okay.
Okay. So then I was like, I don't know what's happening. Then I did a food allergy test.
Okay.
जो ज्यादातर लोग नहीं कराते. अगर आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम है, why would you get an allergy test? But again, I was into a health startup. I got it done, and I saw that I was highly intolerant to dairy and cheese, milk, all of these things. And my daily breakfast at that time was a cereal, कि Kellogg's or दूध पी लिया.
So lactose intolerance?
It was not lactose intolerance. In the allergic test, it showed allergic to
Milk or
It
dairy.
could be lactose or anything else in the milk. I
Okay.
don't know.
Okay.
So I stopped milk. It was triggering my immune system. And then I did the antibody test again in 2 months. And then it was like under 10.
Okay. So just by reducing intake of
Cutting out
milk,
milk.
cutting out completely. Okay.
And now it's not like I don't have ever, but मैं रोज दूध तो नहीं पीती at least. But imagine this is something I caught early on. I
Yeah.
would have continued with having daily milk,
Yeah.
that lifestyle. I would definitely have had thyroid problems now, when into my late 30s and all of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is about my story. My
Thanks for sharing that. I never knew about it.
Yeah.
But there are so many changes that we can do, and we can start at looking at our food, like what we consume. Maybe that is triggering.
Doing this food allergy test,
Yeah, I think.
it costs around 4,000, I think, but it's worth it. If you can, prevent all those problems and conditions you could be having
Yeah.
in the next 20, 30 years.
Yeah, you'll be saving a lot
Yeah.
on the medications and treatments if you get this allergy test. And being rejected by so many professionals saying it's all in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Namrata, speaking of what we can do, I know you and I have made some changes when it comes to chemical exposure in our life.
Yeah.
Because toxins in and around our house are a big contributor to autoimmune condition.
Yeah.
So, any suggestions you have? What are the things you are avoiding or including?
At least I have access to all the sensitive range of products where I live. So anything
That's in Finland.
that's in Finland, we have the sensitive range of products that are fragrance free.
Okay.
Fragrance was something that was bothering me in general from past few years.
Right.
So I think there's fragrance free, and it doesn't have like any of the harsh sulfates and all the other nasties. There is like a whole list if you go to toxicology website.
Yes.
Then apart from like general cleaning products, hand wash, this is something that you use on a day-to-day basis. You wash your hands so many times a day. So anything that I use on a daily basis, I have tried to look at the products, read the ingredient list, and choose something that is working for me.
Yeah.
So it's not like मुझे एक बार में ही समझ में आ गया था कि this is working for me. I tried 2-3 different products, and then whatever worked the best for me. So fragrance free, any sulfate free shampoo, face.
Khadi has a sulfate phthalate free, and the ingredient list is totally herbal.
Okay.
Then I know Forest Essential one.
Forest Essential can be very expensive for people. Not everyone can afford it. That's why I didn't take the name. But I also sometimes use Forest Essential. Then there's a brand called Vilva, and it was founded by a woman whose mom passed away because of an autoimmune condition.
Acha.
She had eczema and psoriasis.
Okay.
And she founded this brand for
Vilva.
Vilva with a V, yeah.
Okay.
And it has products that are safe for women to use.
And you had mentioned the brand for hand wash also.
Yeah.
That which one was that? Happy Planet or something.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot about it. So yeah, I switched to using products from Happy Planet, that they have dishwashers, floor cleaners, hand wash, laundry detergent. So these are the 4 things that you use on a daily basis, right? And so many times. And mostly my mom was doing all of this work at home. And she was constantly being exposed. And she has an eczema condition. She has an autoimmune condition already. So I thought switching this would be nice. And in the past 2 years, I have seen, of course, she's taking medication and she's doing her stuff for it. But I've seen she's like less reactive. Her hands are more soft and it's not drying up as much as it used to. So she's not reacting so much to her environment like she used to before. At least that's what I observed.
You said your mom is more exposed to these chemicals. This could be a solid reason why women are having more autoimmune conditions.
Yeah.
So I did some research, and there are some chemicals known as EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals. And they go and attack your hormonal system. So top of the list which disrupt and attack your hormonal system are phthalates, BPA, which are found in plastics.
And plastics. Your tiffin boxes, your plastic bottles.
Yes. So firstly, don't carry stuff in that, and definitely don't heat anything in plastic.
Yeah. I think we cannot completely do away with using plastic bottles, especially if you're traveling or if you're moving around a lot. But we can still be cautious of not heating it
Right.
when we are keeping it in sun or exposing it to a lot of heat. Yeah.
And these are some solid research behind them. They are really almost poisonous. So ये थोड़ा थोड़ा करके तुम्हारे बॉडी में जाता है, but it creates a huge effect over the years. Then pesticide and fragrances. Nail paints is also another thing.
Yeah, I have put a nail paint. I don't want to sound a hypocrite, but I have used this after 3 years. I don't own a nail paint. Now I do because I use this. But
You had a wedding too.
yeah, I had a wedding to go to. But yeah, I avoid nail paint at all costs.
Yeah. Right. So we just wanted to give some practical brand names which you can switch over to reduce your toxin exposure. And these were a few things. And you can do another thing is that be aware of these toxins in your environment. You can follow a group called Environmental Working Group. They are there on Instagram. They do really good work. They come with a yearly list of the most toxic pesticides, most pesticide-laden fruits and vegetables that you should avoid. They have these articles and ratings for sunscreens and various cosmetic products. There's another app called Think Clean app as well. So download that. Check for the ingredients, check for the toxin levels in the product that you're using. And even in India, there are a lot of brands now available which are completely toxin-free and they're completely organic.
Yeah. So, Richa, but so many women use makeups that are made to long last. And for the long lasting, the chemicals that are used that are harmful, it is being ingested by the skin. It's being ingested when you drink water, for example, the long lasting lipsticks that you use, right? So we are not really that aware, but we are always absorbing the environment around us. So I want to talk about how much of it can we limit, because there are researchers who say that your body is capable of processing all of this and eliminating all of these toxins. But kitna? How much? Because on a daily basis, you look at the air quality that is around us. Right. Speaking of the Delhi air pollution emergency that's going on currently. Right. So how are our bodies supposed to function normally and eliminate so much toxin overload,
Right. And it's best to limit it.
So, yeah, we have to take some protocols to limit the intake.
I think women nowadays are better off. I think our mom's generation were the worst hit.
They were, because there was so much expectation that was just thrown on them. They had a lot of mental load, I feel.
And chemical exposure. And lack of knowledge. Like you and I know about these studies now, they are coming. We know exercise is a must.
Yeah.
But our moms or grandmom generation did not do that. And they were the first one to be exposed to Coca-Cola, Tupperware, Maggi.
But ठीक है, exercise है, but I think हमारे moms के time पे there was so much household work. They had to move around a lot.
Maybe.
So before the advent of all the automation that has happened, they moved around in general a lot. But yeah, coming to today's situation, if I tell my mom, you have to go walk 5 kilometers, she's like, no, I would rather, stay at home. So they don't have that kind of mindset.
So Namrata, let's start the trivia section.
Okay.
You might know the answer to these. I've discussed many of them in the episode.
So it's like a test now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Revision. Women metabolize drugs same way as men. True or false?
False.
And I also gave you
100 points to Gryffindor.
Okay. What is the average time it takes for a woman with an autoimmune disease to receive a correct diagnosis?
100 years.
Come on now. Be realistic.
Uh,
What do you think?
I don't know.
1 year,
4 to 6 years.
4 to 6 years.
And I've seen this with my students who have PCOS as well. They'd be running from doctor to doctor.
Okay.
कि acne हो गया, hair fall हो गया, तो dermat के पास चले जाएंगे, gyno के पास चले जाएंगे. And in the end, it takes a while for them to get diagnosed as PCOS.
Poor thing.
Yeah. Okay. This is now a retention test for you. Until what year were women regularly excluded from clinical trials in US?
Let me recall. 1980s?
No.
60s?
No.
90s? Oh, sorry. It wasn't a multiple choice.
It's
Okay.
1990.
1993. Okay.
उससे पहले it was not necessary to include women. It's like researchers preferred not to include
Wow.
because of hormonal fluctuation, possible pregnancy.
So until 30 years ago then.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So let's move on to the iconic section of this podcast. So Namrata, who is someone in the field of maybe medicine or autoimmunity, a person you look up to?
Not really look up to, and not in from the medical field, but I read and heard a lot about Selena Gomez. She had lupus. She was diagnosed.
Lupus is another autoimmune condition.
Yes, and she was diagnosed like 10 years ago, I think. And since then, she has fought the battle. She has gone through kidney transplant. She's gone through chemotherapy. She was on corticosteroids and so much. And she has still been working like a badass. She got her makeup line out, and she sung so many songs, and everything, and all her songs have, wherever she's featured, has more than 1 billion views. So I think she's an absolute icon of fighting the battle, being very vocal about it, and spreading information about it.
Wow, I have no idea Selena Gomez had autoimmune condition.
Yeah.
For me, the icon is Barbara O'Neill.
Okay.
She's an Australian naturopath, and she gives a lot of tips and treatment lines which are natural and away from medication, for not just autoimmunity, for many health conditions. But the controversial thing is that she has been banned from her practice as a healthcare practitioner.
Why was that?
So there was basically a case. She told in a video that children should be having goat milk for a certain health condition, and then someone did a case against her that this is totally unsubstantiated,
Okay.
and then the ban was on her because of that.
Okay.
So basically, she's a modern term witch. Because you remember I told you
Yeah.
anyone who used to practice herbal medicine was termed the witch. वैसा ही है. So if you look up on Wikipedia, this is what it says: an Australian healthcare alternative promoter advertising unsupported health practices described as misinformation and risk to health and safety.
Why do you think she's an icon?
Because firstly, what the alternative health practices she is offering are castor oil packs or cutting off dairy or exercising. What kind of exercise? But the amount of change she has made, she has a lot of people who have been cured after following her. She also has a retreat where people can go and heal themselves.
Okay.
And I'm sure you must have watched her video.
I have.
Yeah. So she's like an angelic person who's बहुत प्यार से बताती है क्या करना है, and she's telling you harmless stuff which can never be a risk to your body. But she has been termed as quack, and she's banned in Australia from doing any kind of health practices or giving any kind of health advice. But she's practicing elsewhere in Germany and in USA.
Okay.
Yeah, so she is bringing information wherein people can get their power back in their hand and control their own health. That's why I feel she's iconic.
That's nice. Yeah. Great to know about her.
So with that, we come to the end of this episode, and it was a mind-opening episode with all the studies we discussed, how women have been excluded from medical research, they have been misdiagnosed for years, and we are still suffering because we don't know what is the correct line of treatment for women where they're getting misdiagnosed for so many things. If you like the content of this video, we want you to comment below, let us know How do you like the topics that we have covered? Also, if you have any experience with autoimmune conditions, do you want to start a conversation around it? So comment below and we will see you in next episode. Do follow us, hit the bell icon. We are having more such juicy conversations around women's life and womanhood.